brought to you by All Moto Tire, Northwest Montana's best source for your motorcycle tire needs. Today, we're bringing you snippets of a loop ride around Swan Lake over paved and gravel roads. And we'll also talk a little about the 2015 1290 fuel pump hiccup mentioned in our Beartooth series. First, the fuel pump. If you've seen the Beartooth series, you might remember that in episode 1, the 2023 KTM fuel pump completely failed, leaving me stranded alongside the highway. While waiting for the parts for the 23, I decided that since the 15 model pump was now 9 years old, I might as well swap that one out while I'm at it. The result? And that, my friends, is the sound of a successful fuel pump rebuild. Nope. Son of a mother. The morning I was slated to meet a group of friends for a Thompson Pass ride, the bike wouldn't start. Well, after saying that my 2015 was ready to go, I got on the thing, went to start it this morning at least, and it wouldn't start. So now I am headed to Rob's place, and we're going to try to reach Thompson Pass. We'll see if the 23 decides to stay running today. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Have a motorcycle you could rely on. And don't tell me about the KTM. Yes, I know. Fortunately, the 23 was ready to roll. So what went wrong with the 2015 pump? Frustrated, I took the bike to the local dealer, who called me that same day to tell me that it was fixed. Willie at Penco removed the pump and found that it had separated. There are two thick steel tabs that hold the pump halves together, and apparently I didn't get them fully engaged. Don't! At that point, I was pretty embarrassed. I should have heeded YouTuber two-wheeled rider Mario's advice.
Some of you may remember about a year ago I did a video on KTM adventure bike fuel pumps. Get our top piece back on. So you got a couple of things. One, you got to make sure you line up this fuel rail so that that O-ring and the fuel rail go up inside this housing. And two, depending on how far apart you spread these upper clips, you might want to grab a pair of big pliers or channel locks and clip them back in a little bit, because we need to make sure when we put this back on, it does click in. We can't afford to have it coming apart once we get it back in the tank.
Now it was time to test out the old white beast and see if it was going to perform. Well, after a false start with the 2015 1290 and a bad installation on my part of a fuel pump, which I shall reveal later, I am back on the 2015 and it is running great so far. Headed to Bigfork and I meet my friend Dan again, and we are going to go for a ride around Swan Lake, taking some pavement and some gravel, and hopefully it will be a great ride today. Leaving Bigfork, the skies didn't look promising, but at least it wasn't raining. Today's ride would take us from Bigfork over to Ferndale, then south on Crane Mountain Road to Bug Creek Road, where the road turns to gravel, which generally runs along the west side of Swan Lake. From there, we head north on Highway 83 back home.
This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive. With the radio up so loud they can hear us from now. Me and you, nothing to do. These days they come and go.
It's always nice when the four-wheelers move over to let the bikes by. I try to show appreciation for the gesture.
Down, we'll never come down.
One of these days, I want to go that way. I think you can kind of parallel 83 a little ways before you have to cut back in.
Hmm?
But I've never gone that way.
Hmm?
I've been up it a little bit and turned right, and it goes up to a lookout that you can rent.
Cool.
But there was a gate that was closed.
The tower Dan spoke about is the Mission Lookout. The tower sleeps up to 4 people, but pets are not allowed. Reservations can be booked on the government website.
That was a pretty fun road.
Yeah, it is.
At the top, it kind of was sending me around a little bit. I don't know if it was you. It was just like real uneven. And
Not too bad. I mean, I'm kind of going slow because, you know, this is a big beast and I'm just kind of enjoying the ride.
cool.
Indeed, I was taking it easy. It felt good to just enjoy the ride through the forest, not rushing the process. Um, what about a fly fishing trip that stops right about in here somewhere?
Yeah. Have you floated this before? I think you have, haven't you?
But I don't know from how far upstream I have. It's a raft float rather than a drift boat float.
Here we go.
Ominous looking clouds filled the sky in the near distance, but so far we were still in the dry. The route back up the east side of the lake is all paved, but given the iffy weather conditions, the quick way back was just fine. We decided to take a look at the Swan River fishing access site here. I've floated the river before with my guide, his raft, but never visited this put-in.
I think you should buy that house. Because all you've got to do is walk down those stairs and you're on the river.
Yeah? I don't think I could afford that house, probably. Skies look a little dark over there. And with the skies looking no more promising than before, it was time to head back to Bigfork.
Yeah.
Dan's gate is a work of art. That, my friends, is Dan's beautiful steel gate. A sidecar motorcycle in a forest setting. Beautiful. Well, that was nice.
That was fun.
We had a sit down and a chat, and among other things, we talked about more riding. But that will probably have to wait until spring. On my way out, a few deer were wandering the neighborhood and grazing on the fall grass. Yes, this was just a day ride, and not even a full day at that, but another new road for me with the prospect of extending the ride for miles. Come on, spring. If you like this video, give us a thumbs up and click the bell to be notified of future releases. We do appreciate it.